What's going on, friends? Jimmy from Clockwork Industries. Welcome back to another Clockwork Gaming video for Diablo Immortal. So, in this one, we have some really interesting news coming in from it's not quite the Chinese patch notes. It's not even, it's almost like the Chinese version of the Q&A session that we got, but the Chinese version of all these things from the patch notes, the different things that come out, always have a lot more information. They go a little bit more in depth than a North American version for some reason, or the rest of pretty much everybody else's. For some reason, they go a little more in depth with the Chinese version, maybe because NetEase is located over there and they have more communication. I'm not quite sure, but we're going to go ahead and dive into this because we got some really interesting things coming along that'll most likely be covered under like feature updates in the patch, but they are going to significantly help a lot of players, from new players trying to level up their gear to all of us who are perpetually grinding for greens and not having very good luck. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the browser really quick. Now let's take a look at this. Is it showing there? There we go. All right, so I did the translation, so it's going to be a rough translation, but what we're looking at here is, where do we have the first part? The main thing coming in is going to be greens are going to be much easier for you to find if you're well below anybody below Silver Paragon, and I think as you drop lower under Silver Paragon, you can get up to 8 times the upgrade rate. So you're going to get a significant more amount of legendaries and a higher chance of getting greens, and that's also going to have a let's see here. Not only will there be high probability of getting these surprise drops of orange and green equipment, but also experience accelerated growth. Players who are lower than the server level can get up to 8 times the upgrade rate, whether it is a newcomer who has just stepped into the game, or an old gun who has returned to the game for after a long time. They can easily catch up to the big team. Meaning, if you're behind, you're going to get bigger upgrades to help you catch up faster. Because now, some people are a little disappointed because, you know, we've had to farm out and grind the good gear to get where we are. I don't necessarily know if they're going to be getting the most insane drops because it's programmed that way, but what we need is new players to be able to catch up to us quickly and efficiently, so they can get into the content that we're into and help them stay into the game, and also recruit new players into our clans. And, you know, you want everybody caught up to Server Paragon as fast as possible, but you also want them to be caught up with gear. You know, if you want to recruit new players, the faster you can get them up to Hell 5 and potentially Hell 6 coming here, get them up to be able to get in the Shadow War and do all that kind of stuff, and keep them interested in the game long enough so they don't get burnt out while trying to catch up. You don't want people quitting the game before they even get to come and do the Immortal versus Shadow content with the clan. So I think overall it's a good thing. It's going to keep players interested, get them leveling up faster. Along with that, they're also going to be having big experience upgrades. I think up to 800% experience buffs. So it's basically because, you know, think about it, in like 3 months from now, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, the Paragons are going to keep going up. Players are going to need to get caught up, and they're going to need to get caught up quickly. So they're going to continue to have these types of events where new things come out. Now, here's where it gets interesting for everybody. They're talking here about the upgrade mechanism. We have this in the game right now. 400 extra percent experience buff. But here's where it gets really interesting. The corresponding treasure chest rewards have been increased, and after completing the Herodrum illustrated book mission for the first time every day, you get 100% orange equipment. So basically what they're saying here is the Herodrum illustrated book is your bestiary. So everybody now has a guaranteed legendary on their first bestiary. This is all coming in the patch next week on the 14th. So every time you turn in your first bestiary, guaranteed legendary. Now you can still get a chance to get them on the following ones, but you're guaranteed a legendary there every day, which is great because everybody does their first bestiary turn in. You're almost guaranteed a bestiary turn in for doing your bounties, just with the mobs that you have to kill. Now here's where it gets great. In addition, daily dungeon tasks have been added. Players only need to complete 3 dungeons a day to get 100% random green equipment rewards. Now, the low utilization of the rate of green equipment in the past has also been considered by the officials. Players can exchange excess green equipment for designated suits without wasting any resources. Never disappoint an effort. I swear they've been listening to my stream because I say this all the time. You should never feel like you wasted time in the dungeons. Now, if I would just say, you know, most of my game time is spent during my stream in the morning, but then like I'll jump on at night to do my assembly, my Shadow Wars, Rite of Exile, that kind of stuff. I'll jump into the later PvP matches when I'm taking a break from work. But I've also jumped online later in the day to go grind out some dungeons, and I can hop on and go for 40 minutes and not get a single green or a single drop of anything. So that 40 minutes doesn't feel useful. It feels like a wasted 40 minutes. This is why I've said this in the other video. My recommendation, if Blizzard ever sees this, we should get a wisp for every dungeon. Just remove green drops altogether. You get a wisp every time you run a dungeon. Keep it at 5 wisps per craft. And then you can get a potential bonus wisp out of the chest at the end of the dungeon. So you always feel like you're making progress towards that next piece of gear. And then you get the craft every 5 wisps. I also believe you should get EXP and a wisp and potential loot from every battleground you do, not just the 3 daily. So we can get more people interested in queuing up in the battlegrounds. We also need a ton of work in the matchmaking system and putting together these matches. So those are just some things that I recommend. I've heard great feedback so far from that idea. I think it puts you at about a 20% drop rate, which if you would run 150 dungeons in a row, 200 dungeons, you will eventually see that 20% come across on a bonus dungeon with like the chests and everything. But you have to run those 200 dungeons to realize those rewards. When you jump on for 30, 40 minutes, you might hit all the dungeons, get nothing, and you feel like, why did I even log in for 40 minutes? That was a waste of my time. Now, if you had a wisp every run, but they're going to get rid of that. So at least the first time you jump on for the day, you're going to get a guaranteed green every day now, basically, on your 3rd dungeon. And it's hard in the communication here, but I do think that the one you get can be exchanged because it says without wasting any resources. So I was talking to Monterey at the Dataminer on this, and it's kind of hard to tell, but it does seem like you'll be able to actually trade a piece of equipment from this for the one you want. So you won't be able to, I don't think, maybe it'll be like before you identify it or something, like, oh, I got an Urge belt, but I really want a Gloom belt. You can go trade it straight up for the Gloom belt and before you identify it. I'm thinking that that's what it's going to be. Now let's see here if there's anything else. Those were the main 2 things that I wanted to cover because that is huge. That's a huge feature update that's going to be coming to the game. A real big improvement in getting greens. It's almost like our kind of green pity system. So you guaranteed a green every day. Come in, get your 3 dungeons done. You know, there's some days where I barely run any dungeons, or I run, like I'll do my battleground, and, excuse me. So my schedule for the day is I log in to start the stream. I usually do bounties. The way we have this time zone shift right now, actually, I kind of log in. I'll do maybe like 4 of the bounties, and then I'll go jump into battlegrounds for the last hour. And then battlegrounds are up. I'll go do my bounties. I'll go do my shadow contract, or in this case, if it was immortals, I would start doing immortal dailies. Then I would go run dungeons by the time I do all that, and if it's a raid day, I'll run my raids as well. And then by the time all that's done, after there's going to be time for Vault at noon, and then I'll jump into some battlegrounds and then wrap up the stream, and then I'll jump back online in the game later in the day, either run a couple dungeons, do some battlegrounds, whatever. So this actually works for me because in that small section, sometimes so I got an hour, I do dungeons in the morning after the first round of battlegrounds. I might not even get a green in that entire dungeon or in that entire hour. So that feels like an entire wasted hour without one piece of loot. So this is at least a guaranteed piece of loot every day for the people who do go into the dungeons. So for me, that's a significant improvement towards the loot drops. Plus, we still have the crafting system. We still have the wisps and everything. Now, hopefully they hear what I'm talking about with the wisps and we start going in that direction, but that's a whole nother topic. But I got this information earlier today, and I actually wanted to get the video up earlier, but I wanted to make sure I got it out today and let you guys know about this. So we should be seeing some really good stuff coming with this next patch. I feel like this is going to be one of the bigger, better patch. It's going to be the best patch we've got so far. It's got a good amount of content. It's got some big improvements, and I'm really looking forward to the direction that they're going. It tells me that they're listening. We're not getting the huge jumps that we want to see, but we are constantly they're not backing down from those baby steps in the right direction. So we are going in the right direction, and I'm glad to see it. It gives me more faith that the game's going to continue to improve, and that's a good thing because this game is going to be around for quite a while. And the way the game is structured and the way a lot of mobile games are structured, a lot of people are coming into this game from the Diablo franchise. Other people are coming in from the mobile side. The people I know that are more experienced on the mobile side all say how mobile games usually start off a little rocky, but because of the revenue coming in, they're able to adjust on the fly. They're able to take community feedback and actually apply it. And they're constantly developing new products or new content. Like we've already heard, they're still going to continue this 2-week bi-weekly update system is always going to be in play. So we're always going to be getting new updates. and they're constantly listening to our feedback and making changes. And you know, the things we make the most noise about seem to get priority. Hopefully, Battlegrounds come in there soon. We still don't know if the Blood Knight class is 100%, but I do believe that's coming. So we're looking at a new class, new zone, new gems. More hell tiers are coming. Now, this is also going to make our grind into the new hell tiers not nearly as bad. We're going to have wisps that we can craft the new hell tier upgrades. We're going to have a guaranteed green every day. It's gonna make that whole transition not nearly as bad as it was going. You know, I think it was just too quick. It was too quick going from Hell 2 getting your greens, and you're in Hell 3 all of a sudden. And then you get into Hell 3, and if you got some resonance, you're ready grinding for Hell 4. And then you're in Hell 4, and even Hell 4 was kind of quick. And then now, luckily, Hell 5, though, we're starting to get to the point where, all right, I could use a better green. I still got some crappy greens. Like, I'm not really... I could switch back over to this other page because I think we're about done with those patch notes. Let me glance over this one more time really quick. But those are the two key things that I wanted to hit on there. That players who just started are going to have a way better time catching up to everybody else, which I'm really excited about. My cousin just started playing the game. I want him to be able to get geared up and caught up quick as possible so he can start running dungeons with me. And this is going to be the best way to do it. And I think it should be pretty effective. Now, let's see here. Let's go back. But like... You know, I'm running now. Here's the upside of the hell tiers lasting quite a while is my oranges are starting to get so good. I'm not even wearing the best ones. I still have a triple here and a triple, or this is another double, but I have a triple here. Almost all triples on my orange gear, and they're all relatively close to Paragon, you know, within like 20 something levels or so. And this kind of makes up for if I got some crappy gear over here. So I have like 3 exceptionals, and I have 3 just like, you know, crappy normal greens. But you know, I'm looking for specific stuff, so I've been a little picky. I don't take something just because it has combat rating. I'm actually looking for sockets and certain stats and magic stats and stuff like that. I just actually made a gloom neck to try to upgrade this, and you know, it had 30 more CR, but I turned it into a wisp because it doesn't have 3 sockets, you know what I mean? So I'm looking for some specific stuff, and that's one thing I want hopefully Blizzard to understand is I'm not interested in just getting my set bonus and I'm done. I'm going to continue farming greens. I want to get triples with certain stats. I'm going to be farming magic stats. I'm not interested in just, oh, I got the set bonus, I'm done. That's not where the grind ends. And if we have better drop rates for greens, we're not going to stop there. We're not going to be content there. We're looking for the badass items like this with 3 stats and 3 sockets. 3 stats, 3 stats, 3 sockets. We want triples on the greens if possible, other than the rings, obviously. You know, we want triples on all our orange items. We want triples with crit. We don't, I sacrifice all the time because something doesn't have crit. I'm actually doing that right now. Well, I was doing that for quite a while with, I think, my offhand. But I finally got one that was over 100 CR upgrade, so I had to drop the 3% crit that was on it. But yeah, I mean, that was a reasonable thing to do because it was an overall boost in all my stats. But either way, I'll sacrifice 30 so CR for 4% crit. So we're looking for these magic stats more so than just getting our set bonuses and stuff. Granted, the set bonuses are really important. And at this phase of the game, our orange gear is making up for the fact that we have kind of crappy greens. But I'm going off on a rant here. I kind of want to wrap this up. I don't know. If you let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think these are going to be some good improvements going forward? And yeah, I want to hear your feedback. If you guys liked the video, feel free to subscribe, hit that like button, help this video get pumped into the algorithm. I got some more content coming up. I do want to get a PvP video out of this new build. I'm really enjoying it. This actually kind of revitalized my monk PvP. Really enjoying this sanctuary build. It's been super helpful as a support class, as well as some really heavy targeted damage. So I'll get a actual PvP video of that posted up pretty soon. I do have the other build I just posted as my last video. If I find out any more information, any more leaks, any more data mines, I'll get that out to you as soon as I possibly can. And let me double check really quick. Mount Ariat, the data miner, gave me some information, but I want to just clarify. Yeah, let's see here. Up to 800% experience gains, buff to bounty rewards and chest drops, guaranteed legendary from bestiary, guaranteed mystery set item from 3 dungeons. Yeah, that's all I kind of wanted to cover here. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate your support. I really want to try to hit 1,000 subs by the end of the year. It's going to be a push. I'm going to have some content coming out with JT here pretty soon. We're going to run a bunch of Rifties. I'm building him a pretty badass custom computer, so I'm going to have content for that going up on my other YouTube channel. I'll put the link down in the description as well. But with that, I've already been rambling on for too long. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video. Later.